I got a headband. Alright, let's just jump into it, shall we? By the way, no, I have not showered today, and that's why I look like heck. Or at least part of why it at least contributes. It's probably not the only reason I look like heck. But hey. Alright. It's been a few days, so let's see. A few days ago we went to the museum in Rotorua, which my grandmother always pronounces wrong, like Rotorua. It's Rotorua. Rotorua. And museums usually bore me, especially this, because New Zealand hasn't exactly been around forever. Well, I mean, the islands have, but it hasn't been super populated forever. So it was small. The tribal stuff was kind of interesting. You know, it's stories of sorcerers and dark magic and stuff. So if you're a fantasy geek like me, that part was cool. Other than that, nothing interesting except you walk into the building, and there's an exhibit hall to your left, my left, yep, to the left, to the right, or the other way if you're looking at me. So we went to the one on the left. The first thing you see is just this wall covered in bras, and it's actually 3 walls covered in bras, and that was funny. There was a logical explanation for it, but I'm not going to share it with you because it just ruins the image of walking into a room full of ladies' undergarments, which is a lot more special than the reason they were there, which I'll share later, maybe. That night we went to the Maori, I think, dinner. Maori, whatever. They were the dudes who basically found New Zealand first. Kind of like they're Indians, only they weren't there forever. I guess the Indians weren't really either, but you know, they haven't been there too long. And that was cool. A lot cooler than I thought it would be. You know, very tribal thing, and it was. They did a little show and showing off weapons or dancing and all that kind of stuff, and then fed us, which both were actually really cool. And the food wasn't bad. We actually met some interesting people at our table. A couple from Australia, Sydney, a family from New York beside us who their son was living in New Zealand, so interesting people. And that was fun, like I said. Interesting thing I noted during that was, you know, when they were blessing the food and everything, which I figured, you know, being a traditional thing, they would be talking to a lot of gods or whatever they believed in, but they actually talked to one god, their Heavenly Father and whatnot. So I'm pretty sure that's, you know, the god. I don't know if that is, I mean, they're heavily European influence, so I don't know if that was purely a missionary thing where that came from, or if they believed that before, but it was interesting. The next day we did the Zorb, which a lot of fun. I know my dad in particular would have loved it. A lot of you guys probably would have too. Okay. It's this hill, or really 2 hills, kind of, and they put you in this big, almost a hamster ball, but it's big and inflatable. They put you in the middle of it, and there's maybe a couple feet of air, you know, in between you and the ground. It's like an inflatable raft, only really big, and a ball. They put you in that, fill it with water, and it was warm water since it's winter, so it was nice. And then when the guy gives you the signal, you roll down the hill, which sounds kind of absurd, but it's a whole lot of fun. basically rolling down the straight hill, which is kind of the main one. The main fun of that is trying to stand up, which you're not going to do. They had a list of people who had done it, pretty short list of people from 2001 to now. Mostly staff members, a couple people from the U.S., somebody else from like Singapore or something, I think. And they were like the only people who had done it. I think that's what that list was for. And I would have loved to be able to do it, but there's no way, because it's got water in there, so you're slipping on that. It's slippery to begin with, and you're rolling down a hill. You can't really stand up and run down it effectively without falling and hurting yourself badly. Well, not hurting yourself, but falling a lot and flopping around, which is still fun, trust me. And then they had another one, I'll probably put pictures at the end of this, that was like a zigzag course. And that was even more fun because you have zero chance of standing up, because it's zigzag, so the ball would roll down a little bit, hit a bump, you're flopping everywhere, turning and stuff. It was tons of fun, even if you can't really see out during the time. But yeah, I'd definitely do that again. I don't think they have anywhere but New Zealand. Probably because the inflatable balls, the main part of it, apparently 10,000 New Zealand dollars each, which, if I'm right, would be about 8,000 US dollars. Kind of expensive for how many they had. And I saw them trying to repair a hole in one while we were there. So, if it weren't so expensive, I'd totally build one just in my backyard, because it was pretty awesome. Okay, what else?